ready with me while I tell you why I decided to call my album The Rest of the Laurels. First things first, I gotta put on my Laurel headband. You might recognize it from all of my videos ever. Heads up that I know very little about makeup. My mom honestly gets me all of my makeup products. Like, I've just slowly accumulated my entire makeup collection over the years from like gifts that she gives me. So for people who might not know, The Rest of the Laurels is a concept project where each of the songs takes inspiration from an existing myth, from Greek mythology, from Roman mythology, but then it's a double concept project in that it also weaves together to form a totally new narrative and story that I came up with. I've been obsessed with Greek mythology since I was a kid. It really honestly started for me with the Percy Jackson series. Might not be too much of a surprise, but I always knew that my debut album, I wanted to be inspired by Greek mythology. So that was the first thing. I also knew that I wanted the word laurel to be in the album because I have this nifty little laurel headband that I've been wearing for about the last year. And the story behind that, I might save for a different video. But basically, I got this laurel headband while I was in Greece last year, and it was a dream trip of mine. I'd always wanted to take myself to go see the Parthenon in Athens. I had a really meaningful encounter with a woman that resulted in me getting this laurel headband, and I just wanted to remember it always. Kind of just became this like personal style thing that I wore in all my outfits. And laurels are obviously super relevant to Greek mythology and Greek history because ancient Greeks used to wear laurel crowns similar to this, specifically victors of athletic competitions and politicians. Today, they've become a symbol of victory, and there's this common phrase, resting on one's laurels, that shows that. The album's title is a pun. It's The Rest of the Laurels, like the remaining laurels, but it's also The Rest of the Laurels. For people who might not know, I did dabble in competitive punning when I was younger, so it did feel very fitting that my debut album had a pun in the title. This album is a reflection of a ton of the experiences that I've had in my 20s, some really wonderful, some not so wonderful. And my 20s, as well as my entire childhood and adolescence, has really been dominated by this, what I call a sickness sometimes, to keep climbing, keep going. I think that it's potentially relatable to people to have a desire to overachieve, to fill some kind of void or emptiness that you have in your heart. And I feel like in the process, I neglected a lot of the things that I should have been focusing on to give myself the best chance at having a happy life. The album can get pretty deep with its lyrics. There's one song that I wrote and produced myself on it called Library of Alexandria, which I wrote about accomplishment and achievement and laurels. And it's about how essentially like all human knowledge and all human accomplishments will be lost to time, similar to how the Library of Alexandria burned. There are lyrics in it. Each of the 7 ancient wonders have gone under. Lost to thunder, simply plundered, nothing left but bones and dust. Leagues of ambitious men of riches lie in ditches, next to buildings that they wished would keep their legacies from rust. I think very indicative of this existential quandary that I've kind of been talking about. To me, the heart and soul of the project is a girl who's understanding what her place in the world is and what's important to her, and learning to prioritize the rest of the laurels, not just the more obvious, shinier laurels that we all strive toward. And then there's this other second reason why the name is particularly applicable, and that has to do with the original narrative that weaves through the story that I was talking about earlier. So the story behind the concept project is a story I wrote about a girl named Asha who goes through the 7 layers of hell described in Dante's Inferno in a fictional competition called Catathon. In Catathon, 50 competitors go through the 9 levels of hell every year, and only one can win. So Asha becomes one of the competitors. Obviously, the story is over the course of her journey, she learns a lot about herself and about what's important to her and what to prioritize in her life. And in that competition, the winner receives a laurel crown. The album's accompanying story will be available soon, so I don't want to spoil it, but all I have to say is she definitely learns a lot of lessons while she's down there. There you have it. Those are the reasons why I decided to name my debut album The Rest of the Laurels. It's been a dream to see you guys react to this project. My goal with this was to blend old and new. Laurels in the 21st century. I feel so seen by you guys. I could have never anticipated the love that this project has generated, and I'm just so incredibly grateful. Love you guys to the moon and back. Mwah! Stream The Rest of the Laurels.